Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Grizzly Bear Sim's YouTube channel, and welcome back to Mountain Valley Farm. I appreciate you coming back for another episode. This is episode number 4 of our series, and we are picking up some solid fertilizer because, as you might can guess, we are ready to at least start getting our fields prepped, and yes, I had the auto load function turned on. Makes life a little bit easier for me. I'm sort of, well, as I like to sometimes say, I kind of have either two left hands or two right hands or something or another, and well, trying to get them all to work together in unison the way that they're supposed to. And my backing skills still really hasn't gotten much better, especially when I'm talking. So let's just go ahead and get connected to our trailer here and get this thing connected and get ready to go back to the farm. So we've got, let's see, 7 bags of dry fertilizer, granular fertilizer. And this hopefully will, at the very least, and as you can kind of tell, I've had some log spillage there. Not a big deal. We'll bring the trailer down here and get those picked up. I'm sure that there is more than just a few scattered here and there. And as a matter of fact, let's just take a pause right quick and let me just kind of catch you up on what has been going on since we were last together. Look at that, 304 trees that we have cut down. So we basically have all of our fields on the top portion of our farm all cleared. We've got that basically equaled 304 trees. I would kind of be interested to know from Mark DuPont how many total trees he cut down in his journey. Of course, he took a little bit different approach to this map. He took the more starving farmer type approach, career mode type approach. I came in with a little bit of a nest egg of an investment, if you will, from doing well in the private sector, and sort of coming about and investing that. And of course, we've still got all of our purchased forestry equipment. We still have that up on top of the farm area, and we will take a look and see what else we want to do as far as which trees we want to begin clearing next. Probably down here in this lower section, just right over here to our right, is sort of a field that doesn't have a whole lot of trees, so I'm kind of thinking that maybe that might just about do it for us as far as getting those trees, and then we'll just kind of see where that goes. But as you can see, once we get up here to the top of the field, you'll notice that yes, in fact, we do have all of our fields that we're going to have up here on top. We've got them all, well, we don't have them all defined yet, but we are getting very, very close to that status. And so let me just do this. I think we're going to cheat just a little bit, and we will get out and we will disconnect our trailer because obviously we need this tractor. And we're going to cheat just a little bit, I think, and we'll let we'll see if our fertilize spreader will basically accept that directly from the trailer. That'll save just a little bit of time. I don't mind doing it that way. Let's see. There we go. Just like that. All right. So let's see, what else have we, well, since we were last together for episode number 3, as I had mentioned, I have been cutting a lot of trees. I think we were at not even at 200 trees, I believe, when we were last together for episode 3, and now we have something like 304, I think it was, that I said. So we have really been making hay while the sun shines, so to speak, and of course that's a real good thing. So let me just drive you over here and I'll show you this field. So this is, I think, probably the smallest of what our fields will be. I think we will end up with 4 fields here on top. This one here, we have yet to define it, but once I can get some more time, I will do that and basically make this sort of a second field. It's a bit odd shaped. I suppose I could even make this one here longer, a bit odd shaped, trying to stick with, square fields a little bit. I don't know. I'll see what my creative juices tell me once I kind of get the plow connected back to the tractor and go from there. But here's our other 2 fields here. I think we plowed this one over here together, and I had this one to the right, the big field here. I had it sort of outlined, and we had been staging logs in the middle of it. And basically we have sold all of our logs that we have cut, so 304 trees minus whatever is on the back of this trailer here, and then of course the few bits and pieces that we've spilt along the way. And I think that just kind of goes with the territory for me, not getting them stacked on there nicely and all that kind of stuff. So hopefully we can get this like this. Will it let us fill it? All right, I'm back with you. Where there is a will, there is a way. And my problem was I had forgot to, because this was an auto-loading trailer, and of course I forgot to essentially unload them on top of the trailer. They were still locked down. So while they're still locked down, well, you can't pick them up, and of course B, you cannot fill the trigger or whatever. It doesn't work. So anyway, this is solved. Sort of figured that's what the problem was, but just needed to move things around and get stuff set up. So we've got a full thing of fertilizer here, and we will go on out to our large field here and get this done here while I've got you here on camera. So I think making pretty good progress. I think all in all on this map I've got maybe about 9 or 10 hours or so. I would have to look at the statistics to be 100% certain, but I think that I've got about 9 or 10 hours in this map, and it's been a lot of fun, and I've quite enjoyed it. I've quite enjoyed the challenge, but I will say that, and I think it was I forget who it was that I was talking to. They had left a comment on the most recent video, I think it was, and I had said that that this pretty much. All right, Jerry, it helps to connect the PTO shaft up to our fertilizer spreader. Gosh, I am so rusty. Folks, I have been having a little bit of fun flying, and I have already forgotten some of the basics. But I think, to be honest, and I think to be fair to myself, I think this might be the first time that I have used one of these types of fertilizer spreaders since I started using the manual connect mod. So that's going to be my excuse, and I'm gonna more or less stick to it. I think why not, right? So we'll just get this done here, and of course we're going to come back around and cultivate this, and I will most likely do that either off camera, or that'll be what we'll do in episode number 5, I suppose, but we'll get that done. But what I was telling somebody, and I really can't remember whose comment it was that I had replied to, but I had more or less said that I really felt that this was going to essentially get out of my system the forestry stuff. That basically, by the time that I did this, and I'm going to go ahead and make things a little easier for myself, and we're going to put a headland down this way. But I sort of thought that that this would definitely get scratch my itch as far as forestry was concerned, because at 300 and something trees, and I'm probably not done. I've probably got I don't know, 25, 30, 40 more trees down in that bottom portion that I will turn into the next field, and I think that'll be possibly the last field. I don't really want to I don't want to have a whole lot of fields because I want to have, kind of taking this one, kind of taking this map here a little bit slower, or a little bit, yeah, a little bit slower. I suppose the pace is a little bit slower, and obviously we're sort of operating on a smaller scale, but still using nice equipment and everything. So that's been obviously very nice. But yeah, doing a little bit of flying, and I guess I have become a little bit rusty on the farm implements and farm equipment and stuff like that. So my apologies, my bad, and we will figure it all out, and we'll figure it out together. The manual attach mod obviously is really cool. I quite enjoy it quite a lot, and we are kind of off our line here. We will go ahead and resync up here and get our line scooted over. I hope you all are having a wonderful, wonderful time, wonderful day. I hope you are all getting sort of accustomed to the, well, I was going to say the new schedule. It's not really, I suppose, a new schedule. It's still just kind of me in catch-up mode from work and stuff like that. Things are getting somewhat back to normal with regards to work, but I think I'm gonna basically throttle myself back and sort of maintain this schedule of about 3, maybe 4 videos per week until my vacation is done, until I'm back from vacation, and obviously I'm going to have some catch up to do with work. I'm one of those type of people that in my job, I'm the only person that does more or less what I do. Now I've basically have responsibilities spread out over 3 offices. But when I'm not working, if I'm on vacation or if I'm out sick or whatever, pretty much the work that I do, nobody picks up the slack. Nobody basically does that. So it's one of those situations where I find myself just having to work really hard right before I go on vacation, and then enjoy vacation, and then come right back and work really, really hard once I get back from vacation to sort of get everything caught back up. And I suppose there is a period of time that I even think to myself, gosh, is it even worth taking vacation? Because obviously I end up working much harder before, and then much harder coming back from. But of course, vacations are completely awesome, and I am looking so much forward to this one, obviously, because it has a very special meaning for my wife and I. It is our 10th wedding anniversary, as I've said before, so I'm not basically saying anything that I'm sure most of you have not already heard me mention. It is our 10th wedding anniversary. We got married on the 1st of July, and so yeah, this is our 10th year, and we've known each other since the spring of 2001. So it's kind of a double anniversary, if you will. It's an anniversary of obviously of our marriage, but it's also an anniversary of our engagement. So I basically asked her to marry me on the 1st of July. I'm trying to think what year that was. I think that was 2002. It was even before she moved here. She was still working out of our London office, and we were doing the long distance thing, and it was quite interesting. And I think that's one of the reasons why why we get along so well, is that we spent a great deal of time obviously separated by 7 hours worth of time zones, 4,000 miles via airplane, and so let me just flip this around here. And we had to sort of get to know each other, sort of, I guess intellectually, maybe more so than any other way, and I think it just really helped us. Grow as a couple, and so yeah, so cool stuff. So I think I've already told you all. I think I've told you. I know we're going to Estes Park. There's no think about it. We've got our cabin rented up there. We were up there for my 50th back in October. And of course, that was before I got to know many of you guys, because I had just started, I had just sort of started Paradise, I think was it Paradise Hills with Stevie and Farm Sim 15? I think I just started that before we went to Estes Park for my 50th birthday. And so we've gone up there a couple of times, and we actually really enjoy this cabin quite a bit. It's very nice. It's a very nice cabin. It's sort of right on the outskirts, right on the border of Rocky Mountain National Park. If you've ever been to Estes Park, Colorado, it's right at the gateway of the Rocky Mountain National Park, and the elk. It's elk mostly on the eastern side of the park, but we are going to venture over to the western side in the hopes of being able to see some moose as well. There's quite a bit of moose here in Colorado. Something I really did not realize, because I thought most of the moose were only as far south as, like, Wyoming and Montana. Of course, I know that there's quite a bit of moose in Canada, but I really did not realize that we had as much or as large of a population as what we have here, and we do have some in Colorado. And so that'll be interesting to see them. A fairly dangerous animal, obviously, just due to the size, and of course they're very protective of their little baby moose. And of course we will be using the utmost of care and safety and everything. Of course, we would never approach any of these animals. We give them their full respect and everything, because hey, it's really the planet belongs to them, or the wilderness belongs to them, and we're just sort of the caretakers of it, I suppose. So we're actually looking forward to that. And so just basically expect this sort of schedule to go for a few more weeks. Just bear with me, hang in there. As far as the flight sim stuff goes, I really don't want to talk about flight sim related stuff here in the farm sim videos, and likewise I don't want to really spend a great deal of time on when I'm flying, talking about farm sim stuff. That's a little bit maybe counterproductive, but I will just tell you that that basically, as far as the new version of Prepared, version 4, that's the 64-bit version, goes, I will just tell you that add-ons are coming out very nicely for it, and should not be too much longer before we have much more greater selection of aircraft. A lot of the scenery is really starting to come into the picture now, and of course this was pretty much all scenery that was sort of left over from version 3 of Prepared, or even FSX. I mean, a lot of the scenery that I have purchased over the years, and my gosh, I have purchased a lot of scenery, have basically been purchased for FSX, and but the developers, the creators of these add-ons, basically converted them or made them work in the various the three different versions of Prepared. And of course, now that the fourth one is out, the 64-bit version, they are honoring their more or less their commitment by saying that they would continue to support it, and they have done a really great job in doing that. And just got to really hand it to the developers. Of course, I'm talking, for the most part, I'm talking about payware. That's really the big difference between say Farm Sim and Flight Sim, is that, back in the early days of Flight Sim, I'm talking like back in the FS9, and even before. FS9 was came out in like 2004 or 2003. Even before that time frame, we had a great deal of freeware, shareware type stuff, very much like we have here in Farm Sim. But I think, and I really can't remember, I've been trying to remember, and I've often talked about this from time to time in comparing the things that we're seeing happening in Farm Sim, the climate with the whole mod thefts and the abuse of the modders and everything. I really think that that was a part of kind of what had been happening with the flight sim scene, stuff getting stolen and whatever. I mean, we used to have an aircraft developer called Project Open Sky. Posky was the sort of the nickname of the aircraft, and really remarkable modeling. I mean, not they weren't study level aircraft by any means like the PMDG stuff is today, but they still put out some pretty good visual stuff. It was quite beautiful looking equipment, and they more or less sort of ceased to exist. And I think a lot of it is because of things that we've seen happen in recent, well, was going to say recent weeks, but I even think that this whole mod theft thing with farm sim stuff really goes back much further than just further than FS17. I mean, I really think that a lot of this stuff has existed in Farm Sim 15 and maybe even some of it in 13, but what are you going to do, right? All right, so I am going to, we've got a few more minutes, and I think what I'll do is I'll just drive down to the smaller field and we will start cultivating this fertilizer in, and just trying to get our sort of our various levels of fertilization up while we can, while we've got some time to do it, obviously, and got you all here watching. So we'll unfold our cultivator. And we'll go ahead and cultivate our fertilizer in. And then what we'll do is we'll come along, and I'm not sure, I haven't decided exactly on which seeder that we will get. I'm not sure if I will get a seeder that does seeds only, or if we will look at getting a combi seeder that will seed and fertilize at the same time. Sort of depends, I suppose, on what I'm kind of in the mood for. I don't think money will be an issue necessarily. I think that obviously our next big ticket price item that we basically have staring us in the face as far as big ticket stuff is concerned is obviously our harvester. And of course we won't need to buy our harvester for some time. And of course we've got all the other equipment, the forestry equipment and stuff that we will also repair and sell and get that out of here, because again we won't need that. Now Farmer Klein, our good friend Farmer Klein, did ask me today, because Farmer Klein had basically watched Mark DuPont's series on Mountain Valley Farm, and of course Mark carefully replanted. I don't know if he replanted one for one, if he replanted the same number of trees that he basically cut down and removed. So Farmer Klein asked me if that was something that I had planned on doing, and it actually is something that I had planned on doing. Now there is one caveat to that, and that is I don't plan on doing it for the sake of harvesting them again. It's sort of for just maybe the environmental kind of things. We've taken out 300 trees in a relatively short area of our small area of our farm, and it's just sort of trying to be considerate of the environment and such, and saying, well, we've removed these trees, which are the homes of for squirrels and birds and all this kind of stuff, so we're going to do the right thing, and we're going to put some trees back in the ground. But with the seasons mod, and this is just something for you guys to sort of be aware of whenever you get your hands on the seasons mod, and I'm recording this episode, by the way, on the 7th of June, and of course the deadline has come and gone. 3 days ago or so for the Giants mod contest. There have not been any information as far as today. At the time that I'm recording this episode, there's no information as far as the winners or any of that kind of stuff. And of course, we're still waiting. Again, as of right now, we're still waiting. Maybe by the time you watch this video, the season's mod will already be out, because I don't think you'll see this video until sometime next week, most likely on Monday. And I'm not sure, I'm not really sure what day, what number day Monday is, but anyway. But I will just tell you that the harvest time for trees with the seasons mod, before you can harvest them, it is 2 full years, okay? 2 full years. And before they become fully matured, it is 5 full years. So obviously we're not planning on playing this map more than 2 years. We most likely will only play this map 1 year. But even if we enjoy it, you know, if it sort of takes on that Lawfold's appeal for me and everything, not that, and there's nothing, I'm not discrediting the mod author or anything like that, Mr. Jerry Ott. I appreciate all the hard work you put into this, but obviously since we're kind of doing one map now and sort of mixing that up with flight sim stuff, obviously, and then we've got Kettle and Crops that's out there on the horizon as well at some point. I just, you know, I don't know if we'll play this more than one season. But in any event, that's just something for you to think about with the seasons mod, is that it will take longer for trees to mature. And I think that maybe, and I have not finished, I'll admit that I've not finished all of Mark's videos yet. I'm almost there. I've really gotten behind on watching videos, and I need to catch up, and I will. But I believe that, at least from what Farmer Klein was alluding to, that Mark was sort of expecting to plant those trees and be able to harvest those trees for more revenue for his farm. And of course, if he only played the map for 1 year, that was just not the case. The trees were not able to be harvested. So that's just something. But you know, there again, it's more that's more realistic, because obviously you're not going to be able to plant a tree, say in the spring that we're in. Like say right now, this is day 2 of our, or this is our game day 2, but it's our second day of early spring. So keep in mind that we're playing 6 game days per season. And so you would not expect to plant a tree in, say, March, for example, and then harvest it, cut it down, and expect to, you know, get anything significant as far as timber out of it in just a short period of time. So realism is what we strive for with our simulation-based games, isn't it? I say yes, Jerry. So what else? What else did I want to tell you all? I have not heard anything else new about Cattle and Crops, but I will also admit that I have not necessarily gone out and read their forums. I do know, and I think I talked about this the last time that perhaps we were together, I do know that they were getting ready for their download test. And then basically asking for volunteers to download a file of some kind, just to kind of test that they could handle the load and everything. So I would have to say that, sort of being in the business myself, obviously I don't work for a software gaming company, but I do work for a major software company headquartered in the US, in the Bay Area, as a matter of fact. And I do know a few things about this kind of stuff, and I would have to say that you know, for them to do that and want to do that, they must be getting pretty close to actually saying, let's get the cat out of the wheelbarrow and let's let this Cattle and Crops early release go out to the masses. And I'm sure if you have signed up for the Kickstarter for the early release portion of it, I'm sure you are just as excited as I am. You basically can't wait to get your paws on on cattle and crops, and basically see how it differs, see how it differs from Farm Sim 17. And I will cover it here on this channel. Don't worry. I'm not going to, I'm not going to go against what I've been saying for months. I mean, you guys have had to sit there or lay there or stand there or however you watch my channel and listen to me yammer on about cattle and crops for so very long. I will cover it. I will be talking about it. We'll be showing gameplay from it, and we'll see, how much I can show of you if it's a complete product, and we can at least work the land with a plow and spread some fertilizer and do some cultivation and some planting and some harvesting. Obviously, we're going to do all of that. As I've said before, I fully expect that this will be not the complete package, so this will quite possibly be, scaled back from what we would expect to see when it releases, whenever that's going to be. Of course, with the amount of delay that we've had from when the original release was supposed to occur, I don't know if we're going to need to just tack on this additional time from their original release date, which they had talked about fall of 2017. So I don't know if we're talking about even this year. Don't know, and as long as the early access is something that appeals to me, and I feel that they're moving the needle in the right direction, then they can release it when it's ready. I will take the same exact stance on it as far as the full release as I have taken on the early access stuff, and that is release it when it's ready. Don't release it early. Don't make the mistake that so many other games have made, like Pure Farmer, I think it is. I see that I've seen some chatter about that on PCSG, some videos. I think just really doesn't interest me, because I think that they are just going nowhere fast. And but we will see. It takes time. It takes time to get a product where it needs to be. And I'll talk just a little bit more about Flight Sim, just because that is something that I do have experience with. I've got firsthand knowledge with, and I really think that the reason why Lockheed Martin was able to obviously bring about P3D version 1 so quickly was because they basically was able to get their hands on the source code, obviously legally, of course, and they basically were able to make a few enhancements to it and everything, and obviously sort of rebrand it and everything and make it their own. But it was essentially, the commercial side of FSX, what we knew about FSX. And so, and even with version 2 and version 3 and even version 4, albeit it's 64-bit, but it still really is very much just FSX that we have known and loved for so long. I mean, FSX really should have been put to bed a long time ago, but I'll save that for my chat with regards to Flight Sim stuff once I start kicking off some of those episodes, some of those Let's Plays. So anyway, I think I will start wrapping things up and just tell you all that I really do appreciate you guys watching. The channel is still growing, and I really do appreciate all of the new subscribers that we're getting to the YouTube channel and to my Twitter and Facebook page, and of course to Twitch, which I do occasionally do some live streaming. When I do live stream, I do typically live stream to both Twitch and also Hitbox as well, just to basically get the message out there and attract any new fans that might be interested in the game, because I'm all about willing to help. I like helping people. I like interacting with everybody, whether it be over at either PCSG or at the Three Dudes Gaming Network. You can catch me at either of those two places. I do hang out over there. And of course, if you have a question, don't hesitate to leave a comment below the video. I check those frequently. When YouTube notifies me, I almost immediately go, unless I'm sleeping, of course, I will almost immediately go and read it, and I do read each and every comment that you leave. And I often try to reply to each and every comment as well. I would have to probably say, if there were statistics, and I don't know if there are, I don't really care, to be honest. But if there were statistics, I would say that my response rate to your comments on my YouTube channel is probably in the very high 90 percentile. Would probably be. I try to leave a comment. It may just be something short, just saying thanks for watching or something like that, but I do try to comment on each and every post. And if for whatever reason, if I'm busy, then I will often leave a little heart there. That's something that only I can do as the content creator. I can leave a little heart just to basically say that, I watched the video and I appreciate you leaving the comment. But if it's another type of question, if it's something that you may not want to leave in the form of a public comment for others to see, you may also email me. You may email me at grizzlybearsims@gmail.com. Again, that's grizzlybearsims@gmail.com. And before I let you go, don't forget, please make sure that you also go over and check out my blog site. That's grizzlybearsims.com. Again, that's grizzlybearsims.com. You'll find a link for it down below the video. I have gotten back into blogging again, and that is part of the reason why I've wanted to scale back a little bit of my video stuff, is that I am writing again. I really enjoy writing. So I have started doing that again. So I'm trying to release a blog post about twice a week. So if you're interested in reading stuff, and right now I will admit it's mostly flight sim stuff, because that seems to be where a lot of the news is right now. We don't know anything about cattle and crops. There's no new changes coming for Farm Sim 17 yet. So right now I'm writing a lot about flight sim. About 4 or 5 years ago, and I promise I will let you go here momentarily. About 4 or 5 years ago, I wrote a series of how-to articles for a new person getting into the flight sim hobby. Okay, now these blog articles, and I'll just preface this by saying that any of my videos that I do about flight sim, and even farm sim as far as that goes, these don't take what I tell you and what I show you on video or what I write on my blog page as enough information for you to go out, buy a tractor and start plowing the ground, or go out and get in an airplane and start flying. It's for simulation-based purposes only. But anyway, probably about 5 years ago, I wrote a series of how-to articles for the new beginner in flight sim, talking about all aspects of it. Which simulator to consider buying, all the various hardware things that you might consider buying. I think with flight sim, you kind of need, if you're going to spend the money on the software and everything, I think you kind of need to go with something a little more than just a mouse and keyboard. I really think a joystick is probably minimum kind of investment for you that will just give you a little bit more immersion. But anyway, long story short, is I'm rewriting these articles because they are 5 years old, and a lot has changed as far as the stuff that's available, the types of simulators that are out there, the different choices and stuff that you have. And so I'm rewriting these articles, and I will be releasing them over a period of the next couple of weeks. I've got an article that's coming out tomorrow, which you guys obviously will not know about for several days. But anyway, I'm trying to release articles on the days that I'm not releasing videos. So basically I'm doing videos on Monday, Wednesday, Friday at a minimum, and then I'm writing blog articles on Tuesday and Thursday, for Tuesday and Thursday. So anyway, check that out if you're interested. Gonna have more information about flight sim and what it's all gonna mean as far as the channel is concerned. I want to do some kind of a mixture of a whole lot of different things: general aviation type flight, airliners, some live streams, maybe some group flights if you're interested, stuff like that. So anyway, thank you all so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Love you all so much. You're all good friends, and I appreciate the time that you invest in me, and I know that you appreciate the time that I invest in you and the channel and everything, and I appreciate you watching. Take care. God bless you all, and talk to you all very, very soon. Bye-bye.